What's up, everybody? How's it going? Streaming again. Oh, low. All right. Good. Whatever. It's closing time. That's loud. That was loud as fuck in my ears. But I can lock the front door. Start closing. Can I really? Have I tried to play this and it was bad? Vision. I can't move. Okay, nope. I remember this now. I could not play this game. Shit. Oh, I guess we're gonna go. All right, we're start this over. Hold on. What's up, everybody? How's it going? I'm Mark, aka Markimus Prime. We are gonna play Ghosts of the Past. There was definitely no game called Closing Time that was open. My mission is to pick up this phone.
Uncle Will, why do I need to go to an abandoned house?
Yeah,
I don't
Uncle Will.
want to go there.
James, this is very important to our family. There are valuable things there that you can't just leave. Please help me with this.
But there's something I don't like about this story. Why is the house abandoned? And why exactly do I need to pick up things?
Grandpa always said that you were his favorite grandson, and he wanted you to be the one to take those things. Please do this for us.
Okay, I agree. I hope there won't be anything terrible.
Oh, there's gonna be something terrible. You can tell when I download all these games because they're all kind of Christmas themed. I was not prepared for text-to-speech. Oh, fuck. That was fast. Am I Sonic the Hedgehog? I was not prepared for text-to-speech voice acting. Good. Good. What? What just happened? Did I drive here? Was that... I can't go. I need to help my uncle clean this house. Was that supposed to be me driving in? Was I supposed to be in this car? Why did it come... Okay. All right. This car just came here, opened the door, and that was that. Whoa. I don't know what cleaning I need to do. This house seems pretty cleaned out. This looks familiar. Hi. How are you? Madam? Are you gonna jump down this weird void? What are you doing here? Why are you here? Do I go... Is this... What is that? Okay. Oh. Was I supposed to be able to do that? I don't think I'm supposed to be able to do that. Oh. Oh no. I guess I have to restart the game. Game.
Uncle Will, why do I need to go to an abandoned
Can I
house?
just... There's a deer. The car drove here. It's here. This is fine. I can't leave the property. What is that? A flashlight. I think. It is. Why do I need this? Are there mysteries abound? There's a deer there. Lots of fog. I'm just, taking account of everything I'm seeing. Is this it? Is this the game? Hi. Oh, can I pass through you? I can pass through you. Why are you here? What? Wait a minute. What is that? What am I seeing? Is that Japanese? Is there Japanese printed on your head? What am I looking at? What is inside your head? There's nothing else inside you. Is there more inside your face? Oh, under the hair. Okay. All right. So is there anything else I can do here? Okay. I think that's it. I think that's all there is to Ghosts of the Past. I'm just breezing through games now. What even is this? This isn't just tile. Oh, 1 meter. I wonder how much I can see the world fade away as I fall. Oh, there you go. It's gone. Now we're just here. Okay, well, that was Ghosts of the Past. Welcome, Casa. You have not missed a single thing. I've not been playing anything for long, but you have not missed anything. Hopefully the next game's better. I mean, I'm going with a good track record here. I'm going from the worst games I have on this list down through better games throughout the night. But as you've seen last time, the games did not get great. We started off with a broken game and then another broken game. Let's hope this game has an ending. Viewer discretion warning. This game contains violence, gore, mutilation, disturbing visuals, blood, slashing lights, jump scares, and loud noises. Until there are none left to hear it. Okay. Controls. We have a gun. Something. Whatever, let's play. Let's figure this out. We're gonna figure this out together. After being in a long coma due to a car crash, Sam wakes up in an unsettling silence, wearing some hospital clothes. While laying on a hospital bed, confused, Sam goes towards the window and sees some creatures stalking in the darkness of the streets. Upon witnessing this, Sam, terrified, runs out of the room he was in. After running through the hospital hallways, he managed to find the main door. Upon leaving, he finds that what looked like a police uniform between a pile of flesh and bones. Despite that fear was invading him, Sam took a rifle that was next to the rotting corpse, leaning on the hospital wall. He found an alley and escaped through there, and avoid the infested streets. Survive. Live. I mean, I guess that's what we do. Is that... Oh. Okay, we are... I picked up 1 bullet. Tank style. Hold on. I need to put on streamer mode. Honestly, I don't know why I default to that. I gotta stop. I don't know why I go so gravelly. It's as soon as I go deeper. What is this? Is this a play box? What are you? Sam, what are we doing here? What am I hearing? Oh, hi, hello. Okay, I just did the super streamer thing of like, hi, hello, how are you doing? But that just actually kind of freaked me out. Where am I going? No, seriously, where am I going? I can't see. Am I dead? I'm dead. Yes, thank you. I understand this. No spaces to shoot. Yeah, we can survive. It's been so long since I've had to do anything with tank controls. Come on. What the heck are the rest of the control? Oh, good. Thank you. Ah, very Resident Evil. Thank you for that. What? How do I... Inventory. What kind of controls am I looking at here? That looks like a zombie. Oh, and I had tool bullets. Can I search this? Good. That looks like a key. Oh gosh! Excuse you. I don't know where I am or what I'm doing. Did you stand up off the ground? My instinct is to leave. How do I aim my gun? I don't know how to aim this gun. I have a rifle. Nope. There's more of you. Is that another bullet? I'm grateful for all the bullets, but... Nope. Nope. You stay away from me, all of you. I don't know how to use this gun. And until I do... There's no moving. There's no moving past this. How do I shoot you? I'm just running. I'm just running. How? Okay, when we go back to the main menu, I have to look at the controls. Did you come out of this door? I'd rather deal with one of you. I know that you're in here. How do I shoot you? This is not fair. I have a rifle and I cannot use it. Just gonna keep running in circles. You stay away from me with your teeth. It said space to shoot, but how do I aim? I don't know where I'm going. All I can do is run. This is the least heroic I've ever been in a game. I think. There's so many of them outside. How do I shoot this thing? I'm hitting every key I have. Controls. Controls. Tell me. Nope. You don't have controls. Figuring it out. Mashing keys. Give me some to shoot him with. Oh. The least I could say is I'm actually getting used to the tank controls. You know what? We're gonna go to the main menu. And I'm gonna look at the controls now. Control. Controls to aim. Okay. Great. Oh, it's a first person aim. Oh, kind of. Alright, I don't know if I like that. We just don't use the mouse at all, do we? I wonder if I could shoot him while I was on the ground. Like any good Resident Evil. I'll have to get the key. Hey, how you doing? Okay. This game actually takes into account... What would that be called? How loud a gun is? The sound. The sound of the gun. Can I read this newspaper? No. Okay. So now where do I go? I have to go to the left? Where am I? We're going all the way down here. Control. I apparently have to stop every time my ears ring. Ah. Where do you guys go when I come back outside? Okay, good, you're still dead. How many bullets do I have? Oh! Okay, you come back every time I come in. Good to know. I have one bullet. I came in here to be safe. I learned that is not the case. Did I die? I died. Alright, interesting. Interesting game. But I think that's all I have for this tonight. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. That was better. That was better. We'll say that was better than the last game. Because it was a game. I don't know if there was a win condition, but that was a game. Okay, this house does not eat people. We're not playing that. That I'm gonna install that. Close it. Oh right, God forgives you. God forgives you is next game. I don't know how to feel by it being called JesusGame.exe. But the art style looks cool. I still remember the day the war broke out. All those background conflicts and petty arguments finally boiled over, and we were called to pay for it. This war, though, it was inhumane. All manner of biological, chemical, and God knows what kind of weapons were used. It was a chain reaction of biblical proportions. Horsemen of the apocalypse and the government. Matching the brutality of the opponent and the disregard of life. Nowadays, the war is over, yet there's a steep price to pay. Mutations, pollution, and darkness is what we deal with on a daily basis. Okay, I guess this is just silent reading. We'll hope for a better future. I'll paraphrase after. All right, we're some kind of priest. We're making sure that people are blessed, and we are finding a spot. Okay, I didn't know what the other two were. I hope they're not important. No time to waste. I need to go to the church. This is the church. No ease to interact. That sounds kind of neat, but how do I get in the church? Or is this not the church I need to go to? Okay. Oh. I guess we go into the back way. Why am I going through a corn maze? Was that the church? I thought it was at a church. What's this? All right, children of the corn. Nope. No. You look very dying. Easy. What in God's name happened to you? What do you mean what happened to me? The damn monster got me. I couldn't make it to the church. Monster, your wounds are grievous. I gotta hurry. Do you know how to get inside the church? Seems like you got a death wish in that case. Sister Angie should have the key. She was in the morgue when it all started. Okay. Thing is, she asked me to lock the morgue so nobody would interrupt, and I dropped the key in the cemetery. Please help me, mister. The good people, I pray they had more luck than I did. All right. At least you have God on your side. I guess I'm going to the cemetery. I kind of like how they set up the 2D art in this game. This is the cemetery? Can I just... Great. I can see the cemetery, but there's water. Okay. Did I cut those? Oh, I did. Is that bear trap or chains? That's chains. We're okay. We're living. It sounds like something is something new. What is that? What was that sound? What is this weird pig monster that's coming after me? Are you some kind of weird pig minotaur of the corn maze? Is that what we're dealing with? Come here, piggy. I'm going... Can't go that way. What's the point of this? Okay. I have shears. I have shears that I used to cut a lock off. How do I get across that water? Just another way out into the cemetery. Can I clip this down with the clippers I got? No. This way? Oh. There was something there for a second. What were you? How dare you leave me? There it is, the key to the morgue. Where's the morgue? I'm getting something. It's called audio fatigue. Is that the morgue? It looks like a morgue. How do I get to the morgue? They need to vary these footsteps. Just getting tired of hearing them. Okay. Sister Angie? Oh, Sister Angie, you do not look good. How did something get you in here? What is that? What does that sound? Oh, what are you? Jesus? Well, you're not Jesus, but I mean, you're crucified and you have a barbed wire crown. You dance funny, I can tell you that much. You aren't intelligent. I mean, it's a good thing. We got into the church. Doing what we're supposed to. There's Jesus. Hi, Jesus. There's a shotgun. How do I get the shotgun? Do I read from the Holy Bible? The Bible lies open on the pulpit. Pages scribbled maniacally, and others seem to be torn. Only one excerpt from the second chapter of Book of Acts remains fully legible. Acts chapter 2, verse 24. But God released him from the horrors of death and raised him back to life, for death could not keep him in its grip. Good, good. Nope, no, I don't need to see that. What is this? I missed something. On this candlelit seat. A piece of salt. I will sing of his love forever. I will indeed appoint him as my firstborn, the highest of the kings of the earth. I will forever preserve my loving devotion for him, and my covenant with him will stand fast. The way my is capitalized means that's God. This is God speaking. I will establish his line forever, his throne as long as the heavens endure. Under the psalm of hastily written sentences reads, God, I wish for one day where all the mess just goes away. Alrighty. Okay. Well, how do I get this? Alright, my flashlight. Let me break the glass. There's an emergency. I need to break this glass. Someone Whoever you are, we're trapped here. It's embarrassing, but we do not know the code. The provost said it's hidden within the text. I'll figure it out. Sit tight. Scribble note. Charles, for the third time, I have to remind you that the meeting will be held on the 8th. From now on, I'll be writing everything down for you. I'm tired of constantly repeating myself. That's good to know. Well, it's blood. Either blood splatter. Okay. So it's within these. I don't know how long this code is. Chapter 2, verse 24. In this psalm, firstborn. Any more other numbers? One day. First is 1. Second chapter of Book of Acts remains fully legible. 124. What? 8? 1248. It seems it can go forever. Okay, so third time, 3-8. So 112438. Okay. Unless there's another one. Yeah, and it's in the order of how you find them, or should find them. Firstborn son. Hmm. And the firstborn. Because it says first, second, third. And it's a 1. I wonder if it should just be 4. 148. Okay. Was the code here? Third time I have to remind you. Out on the 8th. Okay. Is there a 4th note? I don't see anywhere there'd be a 4th note. Because it's chapter 2, act. Okay, wait. 12248. That still doesn't make sense. Those are the only numbers I've seen. Cool. Awesome. Oh, thank God. It was getting stuffy in there. I see you're one of us. I presume you received our message. Indeed. I've been sent to get you out of here. By all that's holy, finally some good news, but what of the... He came back from the dead and hunted us. Is he still here? Yes, chased me here and killed others around the parish. Dear God. Look, we're no fighters. You, on the other hand, got a key to the gun cabinet. Could you grant the province... Okay, thank you. Did you give me the key to the gun cabinet? I have a shotgun. Am I hitting you? There's no indication here. Well, I died. Okay, cool. I have the shotgun. Oh, he got me. I'm failing in the shotgun part. Doggy. Oh, he got me again. Cool, great. How many times do I have to shoot this thing? Whatever time this is a charm. Let that one through the door. Maybe they should start for when I have the gun. I'm thinking maybe they didn't think I'd lose this many times. Ah, I didn't get through the door. Maybe I should just get stuck on the doorway because he gets stuck there. You son of a bitch. Alright. Oh, I touched him. Finally, some action. Do I just run around here with this? Flashlight would be good. I should have kept that circle I had. 1, 2, 2, 4, 8, enter. Okay. Cool. Your room. Is it dead? Okay, do I go back to them? Rest easy now, Provost. The Warren even robbed something. Go now into his kingdom. Give God forgives you. This place, once a holy ground, now defiled caricature of itself, radiating fear and pain. An end in flames will beget a new life. And thus the will of God has been fulfilled. A shepherd saved his sheep from the bloodthirsty wolf, delivered from the evil and ushered into the light of a new dawn, his light. Yet while we prevail today, it's one victory, blah, blah, blah. Carry on. Neat. I guess God forgive me. Oh, I've played that one. Never mind. I'm gonna play a game called Pretend It's Not There. I'm gonna guess we'll be playing Pretend that something isn't there. I'm returning from school and there's been this thing following me. Do I start playing now? Okay. I have not done anything yet. That's a thing. That's a big thing. Okay. That's what we have to pretend is not there. I don't see anything there, guys. Do you? Monster, can you see me? Nope. Just ignore it. I hope that if I pretend not to see it, it wouldn't follow me home. Do 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 do. Mana mana do 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 do. There's no monster there. There's no monster. I guess I go this way to go home. I don't see. What the fuck? There's a note. Dear Lucas, I hope you had a great day at school. I'll be home late because of work. I left some pizza slices in the fridge. If you're hungry, you just need to heat it up in the microwave. Don't forget to add your homework and pick up the toys you left scattered around the house. Make sure to leave them in your toy box in the room. Love you lots. With love, Mom. Sweet. Does it just come into my house? Oh. Oh, I have to ignore you now. That's creepy. Can you see me? No, not at all. I don't see a gigantic naked dude. I thought he had 3 legs. The third leg being his penis. But no, he just has 2 massive arms and 2 legs and he's a Ken doll. I have to pretend I don't see him by not looking at it. That might be the only way for it to go away. Okay. Pizza and slices. Is this my pizza? Okay. Microwave it. Just throw them in there. Good job, me. Oh. I saw him. I think I just pick up my toy. Where do I put this? Where am I putting this thing? This is kind of cool, actually. I like the fact that I have to not look at a guy. That's what the game is. Just avoid eye contact with somebody. It's like everyday life. How do I put my toy away? Is that my toy? Looks like one of my toys. Oh. Where did Mom say to put my toys away? That's a lot of toys. He appears in some weird places. Mom, what'd you say? Where do I have to put my toys away again? Pick up, make sure to leave them in your toy box. That would make the most sense. Where's my toy box? Oh, it's in my room. Is that my room? Or is this my room? This is my room. The toy box there. Okay, yep. Nope, not going to my bed. That's for sure. Somebody, occupying my bedroom. Just don't look at him. Just don't look at him. That's all you gotta do. Make sure you don't look at this guy. The naked man. I need this toy. Okay. Go close that door. The spatial sounds good, actually. Oh god! Nope, nope, no, not going on my bed. I think the pizza might be done. Looks like it is. I'm gonna take my pizza, close that up. Gonna put this. Put this on the table. Consume my pizza. Why are we leaving milk on the table? Why is there milk on the table? I can see it's 2% because of the blue cap. Okay. Yeah, we're not looking over there. I'm gonna pick up that toy off my bed now. Needs to go in my toy box. I think I did all the things my mom wanted me to do. Oh, I have to do my homework. Right? Do my homework, pick up the toys. Right. Cool, cool, cool. To be honest, this is what I would do normally if there's a just... Actually, no. No, I'd probably kick the fucking weird naked guy out of my house. I wouldn't want a weird naked guy in my home. Breathing awkwardly and trying to make me look at him. But in public, this is kind of what you do. This is basically like San Francisco. I'm trying to find my homework. This is why I don't want to go to San Francisco anymore. This is basically what it's like. You ignore naked people. Okay. You try to do your homework, you try and live, get some pizza. Where the fuck is my homework? Okay, okay, I just ran into you. Can I just leave? Good, it's locked. Okay. Why is he crying? Why are you crying, sir? Is it cold? Are you freezing your dick off? Oh, homework time. Great, math. That's 77. That's also 7. No, that's 52. What is that? That's 7. That's 27. 9. 29. Look at me doing math. 22. Right? No. Fuck, what am I thinking? 42. 9 times 7. Shit. 63? That's like 6. Isn't that 6 also? No. 7 times 7 is 49. 8. Done with homework. I think we just looked at his dick. Oh, can I go home now? Can I leave? Is mom coming home? Nope, it's still locked. I've eaten the pizza. I've done my homework and I picked up my toys. Unless there's more toys to pick up. I'm looking around for more toys. Maybe there's one in the kitchen somewhere. Oh, I thought I got lucky. Any more toys on the ground? No? No, there's no more toys. I've picked up all the toys. Done my homework. I've been a good little boy. It's 4:20 p.m. You enjoy my room. That a toy? That is a toy. Oh gosh. What happens if I throw a toy on him? Did I do it? Maybe if I sleep it will go away. And I realized. And I will realize it was all in my head. Okay. I'm gonna go to bed. There's someone knocking at the door. It's Mom with her own monster that she's ignoring. And we have to ignore both of them together. I don't know why Mom's knocking on the door, but... Lucas, are you there? I forgot my keys. Can you open the door, please? Okay. And it's Mom with her own monster. Hi, Lucas. Sorry for waking you up. I had to stop forgetting the keys. Anyway, I arrived late because I had to cover a colleague's shift. Did you do the things I asked you in the note? Yes, Mom. She sees the monster. Oh. Mom died. Hello. So yeah, we just... Can you see me? You can't see me! No. What just happened? Oh, is this monster perspective? Can you see me? Is this... Am I a new person? Okay. We pretended it wasn't there, and it was there. And it killed our mom. We should have told our mom somehow. Okay, anyway. I've been streaming for an hour. What is this? Rift of the Necro Dancer? I do want to play that. What was next to play? What was actually interesting to play? That was kind of cool. Hopefully I'm continuing on with with better games. Mouth washing's weird, but what do I have? Well, okay. Let's play Intensive Scare Unit after a small break. I needed the restroom. So enjoy your break. And we're back. Hi. This is intensive scare unit. It looks very much like Paranormal Site. I understand this. But we'll see. Definitely not the same company. It's someone who did on itch.io. Someone's sighing. Do I press X? It's my first night shift during residency tonight. Mom and Dad had always wanted me to follow in their footsteps to become a specialist. Mom was a pediatrician, and Dad was a neurosurgeon. I followed their wishes and got accepted to residency, but all I wanted is to get a good night's shift. I thought you'd want a good night's sleep. I actually want a good night's sleep. That's something I need. I can't say I had high expectations for my first night shift in the ICU, but if I'd known it would be this gloomy, I might try to get more than 3 hours of sleep. I mean, yeah, ICUs are pretty gloomy. I've had my time in one, especially at night. It's just, it almost feels like the beginning of a zombie movie when you're all alone in an ICU and you don't see the attending nurse. From the moment I walked through the doors, it felt like I stepped into a different world. The lights are dim, the beeping is constant, and the whole atmosphere feels like it's one bad day away from a horror movie. I found Satria, who was supposed to be 1 year my senior, in the staff room, looking like he'd just crawled out of a zombie movie. He was practically a zombie with dark circles so deep they could double as eye sockets. Someone watching better not be thinking about my eyes. His scrubs were a mess, and he had this dazed, hollow look on his face. I'm not gonna lie, I see a bit of a resemblance. Good evening, Senor? Senior. My name is Leah. I know, drop it. Just be casual with me. Oh, you're the first year resident, right? Ate your dinner already? Yes. Good. You'll need all the extra calories. Anyway, welcome. Satria doesn't give up this seniority vibe in residency, unlike some of my peers. I had been told that residency is like being part of some medieval hierarchy where you're the lowly maid and everyone else is a noble with a stick up there. Well, you get the idea. But then there's Satria. I mean, the guy actually seemed nice. Yeah, I know, it's almost hard to believe. I'm supposed to do a night round with the junior, a shift before me. Do you know where they are? Satria blinked at me like I just interrupted a really intense daydream. They went home. He just sounded like he'd been gargling gravel. I wondered if I'd be like that after a year of residency. It sounds like somebody has Batman voice. Oh, is everything okay? Anything I can get you? He managed a half-hearted grin that did nothing to reassure me. Nah, just one of those nights. Anyway, this means you'll be doing the night rounds with me. Let me explain everything, kid. Listen well, because I'm not repeating anything for you. Alright, here's the deal with the night shifts. It's a whole different beast. We're understaffed, so it's basically you, me, and, well, one night nurse. Wait, one nurse? For the entire ICU? That's actually kind of accurate. He waved his hand as if it was nothing. Who needs nurses when there are residents, am I right? We're stretched thin and it's a bit of a juggling act. The ICU usually got more hands on deck, but tonight it's a skeleton crew. So expect things to get a little interesting. I glanced around the ICU, trying to picture the lone nurse trying to handle everything. I'll do my best. Good. If you're lucky, she'll be able to cover all the bases, but don't count on it. We'll need to pitch in wherever we can. So I'd like you to take charge of the patient bells. Patient bell duty? What does that involve? It's exactly what it sounds like. You'll be the one answering the patient's call bells. Every time a patient hits their call button, it's your job to respond. It's one of those tasks that gets handed off to the newbies because it's hella boring but crucial. It is crucial. after being in the ICU, I know how urgent it is for someone to get me Jello or apple juice. That's all I used the bell for. I didn't have that much discomfort. Amazing. I'd already been dreading the prospect of juggling everything else, and now I had to deal with constant interruptions from call bells too. There was some other things, but like, I'm not talking about that tonight. Here's how it works. Each patient room has a call button next to the bed. When they press it, an alarm goes off at the nurse's station. Well, it would if we had more than one nurse on tonight. So you'll need to be the one who gets up and checks on them. Understood. All right, Leah. Let's do a quick round so you know what you're dealing with tonight. Satria led me through the dimly lit corridors of the ICU. He stopped in front of the main nurse's station and gestured for me to follow as he began his impromptu tour. We started at room 101. This is Angela Lim, 7 years old, recovering from post-dengue shock syndrome. She's stable but still needs monitoring. What the hell is post-dengue shock? It sounds like a Pokemon move. Sweet kid, but she's been through a lot. As for pediatric patients, you deal with the parents mostly. I peered through the glass window of the room, seeing a tiny figure nestled in the bed, her mom sitting anxiously beside her. Her mom looks kind of familiar. Satria led me to room 104 next. Here we have Mrs. Selvina, 47 years old. She's on a ventilator because her liver cancer has metastasized everywhere. Her condition is critical, so keep an eye on her. We can't get a hold of her family yet, so no DNR. I would think the do not resuscitate would be in her paperwork. I glanced at the room where a ventilator hissed rhythmically, and Mrs. Selvina lay still. Next, we moved to room 108. As we walked past room 108, a loud crash jolted me, followed by the sound of someone or something thrashing around like a wild animal. What was that? This is Mr. X. We basically found him on the streets. He's in delirium, in pain, and we found some injectable drugs in his belongings, probably OD'd on something. Think something is crawling inside of him, a pain in the ass, really. Just try to handle him with patience. I would think they'd handcuff him to the bed. I honestly think they would handcuff him and strap him down. Morphine every hour or so. He'll let us know. So we're just gonna let him fight his imaginary demons in there? Until he starts tearing the place apart, then we sedate him. Anyway, you definitely need to keep this one in check. Finally, we arrived at room 110. Mr. Joko Mulyono, 75 years old. He had a diabetic gangrene that caused a septic shock and just had a leg amputation. He's in a rough spot and can be a bit grumpy, and he's generally manageable. I'd be grumpy too if I lost a leg. Then again, it seems like it's his own fault. Satria glanced at his watch and sighed. Shift starts at 9 p.m. and runs until 7 a.m. You've got a mix of serious cases and one that's going to test your patience. Try to keep track of their needs and be ready for anything. Got it. Any tips on how to deal with the patients while I'm at it? Satria gave me a weary look. The usual. Be polite, be efficient, and try not to let them see how frazzled you are. The call bell might seem like a nuisance, but it's there for a reason. Keep an eye on the frequency of the calls. It might give you clues if something's wrong. He paused as if considering whether to add more. Also, be prepared for the occasional strange request. It's the ICU after all. People and things here are usually not in their right state of mind. What do you mean? You'll see. Satria looked like he was about to collapse on the spot. Just do your best, kid. We're all running on fumes, but we'll get through it. And if you need anything, well, try not to hesitate. Almost forgot, since you're working at an ICU, try to answer the patient bells as fast as you can, yeah? Any call might be someone's life and death. I mean, you can't just undo your mistakes in real life, right? As Satria shuffled off to the doctor's call room, he moved so listlessly it was like he was gliding through the shadows. Seriously, the guy looked like he was part of the decor. I bet that's gonna be me after a year. I made my way to the nurse's stations towards the patient's bell call. The nurse on duty, who had been introduced to me as part of the skeleton crew for the night, was standing at the desk. She looked up as I approached, and my first impression was that her face was so pale, she almost blended into the background. Hello, I'm Leah, the new resident, just checking in. Okay. Just zombie at us. The nurse didn't respond. Instead, she just stared at me with vacant eyes and nodded. It was as if she was too tired or overwhelmed to offer any kind of greeting. Alrighty then. I'll be around if you need anything or if there's any news. She just hops. That's her communication. But nope, no reply, just silently nodding. It was like talking to a very pale, very silent mannequin. Do mannequins you talk to usually make noise? The chill in the room seemed to grow thicker every second, and the silence was starting to feel like it was pressing on me. I turned and headed back towards the patient rooms, trying not to let the oppressive atmosphere get to me. Did the lights just flicker? Probably just my imagination. The ICU was dark, eerie, and every sound seemed to amplify the sense of unease. It's like Satria and the nurse were just the icing on the cake of this unsettling shift. I took a deep breath and braced myself. This is gonna be a long night. You think? I stood at the nurse's station, all eyes on the patient bell monitor. It was one of those moments where you try to pretend you're not staring, but it's impossible to look away. The monitor was supposed to make my job easier, but right now it was feeling like a bad omen. Out of nowhere, the first bell rang, not once, but 3 times simultaneously. Not one, but 3 simultaneously. My heart skipped a beat as I glanced at the monitors. Rooms 108 and 110 were flashing with alarms. Standard fare for an ICU, I suppose. But then, room 112, the monitor showed its bell ringing too. Room 112 was empty. Okay. I pressed the intercom button on room 108. Good evening, sir. It's Dr. Leah. What's going on in there? A long, unsettling silence followed, broken only by the humming of ventilators. I was about to repeat myself when a garbled voice came in through the speaker. She's inside me. His voice crackling with pain and something else. Fear, maybe? Her hands. Scratching to get out. I swallowed hard, trying to keep my tone professional. Sir, there's nothing going under your skin. You're just experiencing a symptom of your condition. No. His voice was louder, frantic. I could hear the sound of him thrashing in his bed, the bed frame creaking under the force. You don't understand. It's her nails. I can feel them. Digging. Sir, just breathe, okay? I'm coming in to check on you, but you have to stay still, all right? No reply, just a wheezing laugh crackled through the intercom, making the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. I reached the door to room 108, bringing the sedatives with me. Suddenly, everything was eerily quiet. One second. Groggily, I glanced down the hallway, hoping to ask for assistance from Satria or the nurse, but I was alone. I took a deep breath, steeling myself as I pushed open the door to room 108. Ooh, okay, he looks weird. I should have let Satria take this one. Mr. X was thrashing violently, face contorted in agony. His hands were clawing at his own skin, scratching, covering his arms where he'd been trying to dig out whatever he believed was inside him. Help, please. Please get her out. I can't take it anymore. I'm just going to sedate you, sir. It'll help with the pain, but you have to let go. All right? As I reached for a syringe, he grabbed my wrist with surprising strength. Let go? Let go? She's in me. Her nails, they're cutting through. She's going to crawl out of me and into you. She'll tear us all apart. His grip tightened, and for a moment I could almost feel it. A sharp, cold scratch just beneath my own skin, like nails dragging through flesh. My stomach turned, but I forced myself to stay calm. I had to. It was just the delusion. It's just the drugs. It's just paranoia. I injected the sedative into his IV, and Mr. X's breathing slowed, his thrashing subsiding as the sedative took effect. But even as his eyes fluttered shut, he kept whispering to me, "She's coming." That sounds like she's having a good time. I backed out of the room, trying to calm my trembling hands. But then, as I started down the hallway, something stopped me in my tracks. It was a faint at first, a soft melodic hum that seemed to drift through the stillness. Who the heck is singing at this hour? I paused, my ears straining to catch it. The sound grew clearer and my blood ran cold. A peasant hen was singing. Her voice was haunting, laced with a sorrow that seeped into my bones. And as if that wasn't enough, there was a distant clink of a gamelan orchestra began to play along with her. "Hi, how are you?" That was a creepy Asian lady. Very creepy Asian lady. The hell's going on? It was coming from Mr. X's room. It couldn't be from his phone or TV. The peasant hen's voice was so close. It was like she was standing right behind me, singing directly into my ear. I half expected to feel her cold breath on my neck. "She's coming." And then just like that, the music cut off. Everything fell into silence so thick it was suffocating. Maybe I've had too much coffee. That's it. I rushed back into the nurse station, trying to shake off whatever just happened. I stood at the nurse's station again, where the bells for room 101, room 103, and room 104 all started ringing at once. Not this again. Room 103 was completely and utterly empty. So why the hell was the bell ringing? Room 104 had Mrs. Selvina, who was unconscious and paraplegic. She couldn't ring the bell, even if she wanted to. I glanced at a nurse who was standing there eerily mute, as if the chaos around us didn't even register. What the hell's going on with this night shift? Satria, my ever-reliable senior, just let out a sarcastic laugh. Well, it seems like there's a welcome party for you. What's in room 101? So we just choose. What? I'm curious about the empty rooms. Oh, I was too late. I heard Satria and the nurse rush to the other rooms. Better luck next time. Feeling thirsty, I wandered into the doctor's lounge. I didn't know I could be that late. Satria was already there, leaning against the counter while stirring 2 cups of coffee. He handed me one with a half smirk. I could do without the bell. Thanks. Hang in there, kid. This is just your first shift. Hey, this is what I signed up for. Easy for you to say. You're one of the blue bloods, aren't you? Everyone knows about you. What was it? Mom's a pediatrician, dad's a neurosurgeon. I kind of want to turn that down. Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's a walk in the park. There's always comparing me to them, telling me how much harder I need to work. I don't even want to be a doctor anyway. Still, must be nice though, having parents who made things so much easier. Wish I had that kind of leg up. My family put everything into getting me here. Now it's on me to make sure it's worth it. I looked at him, really looked, and for a second I caught a glimpse of the weight he carried. Well, I guess we're both just trying not to mess up. Yeah, something like that. I leaned back, taking a longer sip of the coffee, letting the silence sit for a bit. This is not silence. There's a bell ringing. So why'd you decide to be a doctor? Honestly, for my parents. It's not like I had some big passion for it or anything. We're not well off, and, well, it felt like the only way to give back. Really? Yeah, I mean, they sacrificed so much getting me here. It's on me to make it count. Plus, they're not going to be able to help my sister much longer. I figured I could chip in with her uni loans when I'm out of residency, you know? That's heavy. Yeah, well, it's not like I can quit now. But why emergency medicine? Of all the specialties, you chose the one where people are literally running in and out nonstop. Hey, Brad, how you doing? I didn't exactly choose it. It was the only one available through the scholarship I got. I had to take what I could get. Oh, so this isn't your first choice? I mean, it's fine. I don't hate it or anything. But if I'm being honest, it was never really about what I wanted. It was about making sure I could get through med school without bankrupting my parents. Satrius stretched a bit before grabbing his things. Anyway, I better get back. The nurse seems inexperienced. Just before he left, he paused at the doorway and looked back at me. Residency's brutal, kid. There's still time to leave if you don't want to be here. Hang in there, okay? Before I could respond, he gave me a small smile and disappeared down the hall. Yeah, the clock struck midnight and the ICU erupted into chaos. Every damn bell in the intercom rang out like crazy. I turned to Satria, his face just as pale as mine. What's happening? I have no freaking idea. It's like the whole damn place is losing it. The ringing bells drowned out our own voices, and I was struggling to speak. I felt the urge to run, but from what? From our helpless patients? But I noticed the nurse, the one who hadn't spoken a word since we started. Is this a drill? Oh, so she was human after all. Thank God. A drill at this goddamn hour? The nurse took a step back, looking ready to faint. I don't know, I'm a new employee too. Nobody told me about this. Leah, just press the button, huh? Just answer the intercom, maybe we'll stop. Roger that. There we go. I pressed the intercom button for room 104 and was greeted with a loud crash. The unmistakable sound of something shattering on the floor. Hello, Mrs. Salvina? No. No answer. I quickly rushed to room 104. I pushed the door open and the room was dark. As I turned on the lights, I saw a cup of tea laying in pieces. There was no one else in the room but Mrs. Salvina, who was unconscious in her bed, oblivious to the mess. Jesus Christ, seriously? I crouched down to inspect the shards of glass, looking for any sign of how the cup had ended up on the floor. There was no obvious cause, no one to knock it over, no sudden movement that could have sent it crashing. It was as if it had just decided to jump off the table of sheer spite. Okay, focus. Just a cup. Just a cup. Of course, there was no cleaning service in sight, which meant I was the one in charge of cleaning it up. As I moved to clean up the mess, I felt a shiver down my spine. I couldn't help but glance at the window, half expecting to see something, or someone, watching me from outside, and to Mrs. Salvina, thinking she could just jolt awake at any moment. Hold it together, Leah. I quickly gathered the pieces of the cup and turned to leave. But before I could reach the door, I thought I heard a faint whisper, just a breath of a sound, like a warning. That wasn't a faint whisper. That was a straight up just moan. Someone just moaned the fuck out of this room. I froze, my heart racing as I glanced back at Mrs. Selby. She remained still, her breathing steady but shallow. As if this night couldn't get any weirder. I quickly left the room, huffing to myself. 3 bells rang at once, room 108, 101, and 105. I groaned. Room 108 was Mr. X, who was convinced someone was crawling under his skin. 101, Angela and her tic-tac famous mom. with a mysterious knocking, and room 105, empty. Perfect. Let's go room 101. We haven't met them yet. I pressed the intercom button on room 101, half expecting out of a horror movie to greet me. Instead, Angela's mother's voice crackled through the speaker. Doctor, Angela's IV drip is running out. Could you come and replace it? I'll be right there. Relieved it was something straightforward, finally I grabbed a fresh IV bag and made my way to the room. But as soon as I walked in, the atmosphere felt off. Not again. Angela's mother, Mrs. Lim, was standing by the window, her expression a mix of worry and something else I couldn't quite describe. The music is kind of weird. Just gonna say that right now. Her daughter seemed to be asleep peacefully in her bed. Excuse me, Mrs. Lim. I'm Dr. Leah. I'll be replacing your daughter's IV drip. Dr. Wait, I'm sorry to trouble you, but there's been knocking on the window. It's been happening for a while now, but when I look, there's no one there. Probably just the wind, ma'am. She just looked back at me. Or I could check for you. I moved to the window, opening the curtain and peering out into the darkness. Nothing, just a faint reflection of the room behind me and the dark sky beyond. I shook the hatch just to be sure, and it was securely locked. It's safe, man. Nothing's out there. Okay, yeah, we're on the first floor. She just gave an uneasy smile as I started to replace the IV drip. Something about her tugged at the back of my mind. I felt like I'd seen her before. Are you on social media or something, Mrs. Lim? Your surname is familiar. Yes, I'm a Tic Tac model. Veronica Lim. I see. She didn't respond, just turned back to the window. She was holding her left wrist, and for a moment I thought I saw some bruising marks on them. What do they mean by a Tic Tac model? Like one of those ones with a spicy page? As I finished up with the IV, the unease in the room seemed to thicken. Seems like I shouldn't have asked. Just press the button if you need anything else. Angela's mom nodded again, but her gaze remained fixed on the window. It's as if she's waiting for something or someone that wasn't there. I quickly left the room, sighing to myself. The bells rang again. Room 110. I pressed the intercom button on room 110. I remember it being Mr. Joko Mulyono's room, the elderly man who'd recently had his leg amputated. Satria said he was one of the more stable patients, or at least he had been. Hello? His wife's voice crackled through the speaker, soft but urgent. Excuse me, nurse? My husband has a fever. He's not resting well. I'll be right there. I made my way to room 110. As I entered, the first thing I noticed was how warm the room felt. Stuffy almost. Mr. Mulyono was in bed, his face flushed and profusely sweating. Is the music supposed to be this off? It's kind of weird. Let's turn down the music a bit. Okay. Twitching as if something was bothering him, even in his dreams. Good evening, ma'am. I'm Dr. Leah. May I check Mr. Mulyono's temperature? Please, go ahead, doctor. I checked his temperature, definitely a fever. Nothing too alarming, but enough to need attention. I reached into my pocket and pulled out a vial of paracetamol, preparing to administer it. She just has that on her? This will get the fever under control. As I injected the medicine into his IV, I felt the presence of his wife hovering next to me. Mrs. Mulyono seemed like a sweet elderly woman, the kind who reminded you of homemade cookies and knitting by the fireplace. But tonight, something felt off. Maybe it was just my imagination, though. Thank you, doctor. I glanced up, meeting her eyes. She was smiling, a kind, grandmotherly smile, but there was something strange behind it that I couldn't quite put my finger on. Well, maybe she's just worried about her husband. Oh, of course. He should get better soon. You're very kind, doctor. We're so grateful for everything you're doing. Just doing my job, ma'am. Is there anything else you need? No. He's tired, dear. So very tired. Pardon? Are you gonna kill your husband? She didn't respond immediately. Instead, she just kept that unnerving smile fixed on me, her eyes boring into mine. I checked Mr. Miliono's vitals one last time, my hand shaking slightly. His fever was starting to come down and he seemed to be slipping into a more peaceful sleep, but the room still felt too suffocating. And Mrs. Miliono kept smiling, never once moving. He should be fine for now. Just let me know if anything changes. Mrs. Miliono said nothing, just nodding silently as I turned to leave. Okay. I could feel her gaze burning into my back, that eerie smile still hanging in the air. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I thought she was coming right at us. I think she's gonna kill her husband, or try to. The door clicked shut behind me and I exhaled a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. What is wrong with my first shift? I rushed back into the nurse station, trying to shake off whatever just happened. Bells again. Bells ring again. Let's go 101. I pressed the intercom button on room 101. It was Mrs. Liam again. Her voice sounded even more urgent. Doctor, there's knocking again. It's fast, like someone's trying to get in. Please, can you come? Of course there is. When I entered, the room was dim, but just a faint glow of the monitoring equipment. Mrs. Veronica Lim was sitting beside Angela's bed, her face even paler than the last time I saw her. Doctor, I'm sorry for bothering you, but it's been happening more frequently. The knocking, it's on cue. The sound started again, sharp, rapid knocks that seemed to rattle the window. I took a deep breath and went to the window. Here we go again. I pulled it open, half expecting to see something or someone on the other side. Once again, there was nothing. The knocking had stopped immediately as well. It's fine, ma'am. There's nothing out there. Mrs. Liam shook her head, her eyes welling up with tears. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm losing it. I've been so stressed out. My baby, I wasn't there for her. My job, with all the pressure on social media, kept me too busy. I abandoned her when she needed me most. Maybe it's just my guilt haunting me. For a moment, I wasn't sure what to say. An ICU where people died and went to critical condition seemed to feed on fear and guilt, twisting it into something that could reach out and touch you in the dark. What's important is you are here by her side during this critical time, ma'am. She nodded, but her expression didn't change. The knocks had stopped, but the unease lingered. After excusing myself from room 101, I walked back to the nurse's station. The nurse was sitting alone, tapping her pen on the desk, looking more bored than anything else. When she saw me approach, her eyes lit up. I wondered if she wanted to ask me something about Mrs. Lim. You know Mrs. Lim? Who doesn't? She leaned in close, about to spill some tea. Word is that Veronica Lim was having an affair with some famous actor, big name in the industry. Her husband found out, and that's why he's nowhere to be seen. Left her to deal with everything on her own, even his own kid. Can you believe that? That's rude. Gotta be there for the kid at least. Then again, she's cheating. But the kid's important. Oh, so that's why he's not here? Yep, rumor has it the whole thing was a huge scandal. But they kept it hush-hush because, reputation and all that. But everyone in the know, well, they know. And how do you know? What the slap? I felt a sudden painful smack on the back of my head and turned around to see Satria grinning with a mischievous kid. No more gossiping on the job, Dr. Leah. You're supposed to be the professional here, and I'll tell on you. I rolled my eyes, rubbing the spot where he bonked me. Yes, sir. I was just, gathering intel. Sure, call it that. He chuckled and strolled down the hallway, disappearing into the shadows. That's battery. Try to keep it classy, okay? The bells ring again. 111. Let's check up on 108 first. I pressed the intercom for room 108. The sound of Mr. X retching immediately filled the speaker. His voice, even more frantic and broken than before, cut through the noise. She's out. Pardon? She's out, but I can still hear her. She's here. Help! Sir, I'll be there in a... Arr! Sir? You're here too, don't you, Doctor? As I listened, something else crept in. Something familiar. A peasant hen's song, soft at first like a lullaby from hell, getting louder and closer with each second. The song drowned out Mr. X's screaming. The hairs on my neck stood on end as her voice wound through the static. Hi. Okay, yeah, it's creepy looking. It inched closer and closer. Until it felt like she was here in the nurse station instead of Mr. X's room. I can't do this alone. I bolted toward room 108, dragging the new nurse with me despite her protests. The eerie wails from Mr. X still echoed in my ears as he rushed down the dimly lit hallway. Where is he? When we burst into the room, the bed was empty. The song had also stopped. Sir? I looked to the window, but it seemed like it was jammed shut. Over there. The nurse pointed at Mr. X, cowering under the bed, his wide eyes glinting with terror. Sir, what are you doing under there? I knelt down, trying to see him better. I didn't expect that. Before I could get an answer, the nurse behind me let out a blood-curdling scream. She stumbled back, clutching her foot, eyes wide with fear. Why is she holding her foot? Doctor, something's scratching at me. It's under the floor, scratching me. A cold chill ran down my spine. The scratching, that horrible feeling from earlier, was back. And it wasn't just in my head, the nurse felt it too. Whatever was down there, it wasn't done with us yet. But helping Mr. X came first. I had to sedate him. Mr. X was trembling under the bed, his eyes darting around like he was seeing something I couldn't. The nurse injected a sedative into his arm, trying to ignore everything else while the nurse cowered behind me. Just breathe. His eyes fluttered closed as the drug took effect. I turned towards the nurse. There you go. Are you okay? My mom said being a nurse is an honorable profession. I'm just here for the paycheck. It's okay. He's asleep. Let's get out. But as I turned to leave, the silence was shattered by the haunting sound again. The peasant hen song. I didn't wait to see what would happen next. Let's go already. That looks a lot darker than it was earlier. And bloodier. The nurse grabbed me by my arm. We bolted out of the room, the song echoing behind us like it was chasing us down the hallway as we fled back to the nurse's station. I didn't even realize that somehow the corridor had become even darker than before. We didn't stop until we were back in the dim safety of the station, gasping for air. The song had faded, but whatever was happening in room 108, it was far from over. Satria was there. He raised an eyebrow when he saw us running, but didn't ask anything. Satria, do you know anything about Mr. X's background? I mean, besides the obvious nightmare we just dealt with. Satria leaned back, his eyes fixed on the ceiling. There's a rumor that he used to be filthy rich. But you know, classic tale, lost everything, bad investments, gambling, drug addiction, who knows? Really? How come? When they found him, he had this ridiculously expensive watch on him, like the kind you could pay off a car. No one's sure if he stole it or if it was his, but it's the only thing he had on him. We keep hearing a Gamelin song and someone singing. Satria didn't even blink, just shrugged with the exasperating nonchalance. Maybe it's a vengeful lover haunting him. Or his ex-wife, who knows? Or maybe the music's just in his head, and now it's in yours too. There's no way. Either way, it's obviously none of our business. I couldn't tell if he was being serious or just messing with us, but either way, it did nothing to calm the two of us. This is way above my pay grade. And I'm not even getting paid. Satria just smiled an infuriatingly calm smile. And witlessly reached to the counter and poured 2 cups of tea. He handed one to the nurse and one to me. Here, drink up. They'll calm your nerves. The nurse and I exchanged a glance, still too rattled to do anything. Finally, I took a sip anyway, trying to shake off my doubts and fears. The nurse did the same. If Satria could be this relaxed, maybe we could survive the rest of the night. Or maybe he was just as crazy as this place. The bells rang again. I'm gonna go 110. I don't remember if there's anything actually in 104. I pressed the intercom button on room 110. Room 110? What's going on? My husband's in pain, doctor. Please come immediately. I still think she's gonna kill him. I hurried to room 110 where Mr. Miliono lay in bed, his face contorted in agony, beads of sweat glistening on his forehead. He's not fully conscious yet. I rushed to his side and quickly checked his vitals. Hang in there, sir. I'm going to give you something for the pain. Oh, thank goodness you arrived quickly. Yes, ma'am. As I administered the medication, I noticed something. Mrs. Miliono stood at the foot of the bed, a serene smile on her face. But her feet weren't touching the ground. What? Excuse me? I wanted to scream, but my body froze and my hand was still administering the meds. I quickly finished my job and, god damned it, the syringe fell to the floor. I was bent down to retrieve it. I was face to face with her feet. I wasn't dreaming. She wasn't just standing there, she was floating. I'm gonna bet that she's actually not there and she is a ghost. And she's smiling because she wants him to join her in ghostitude. The meds are in his system now. He should be all right. I'm just gonna go now. Because Satria never mentioned Mrs. Miliono. He just mentioned Mr. Miliono. And I would think that he would tell us if someone was in the room with him. Her smile widened. Did you leave because you're done or because you've noticed me? The room felt a lot colder and shadows deepened in the corners as if they were reaching out to grasp me. Somehow, there were cracks in the wall. I couldn't move a muscle. Mrs. Miliono, I think you should... Do you see me? Panic surged through me and I turned to the door, desperate to escape. I have to go. Mrs. Miliono is dead. We are getting more and more haunted. With one last frantic glance at Mr. Miliono, whose pained expression mirrored my own horror, I bolted from the room and slammed the door shut behind me. As I stumbled back into the oddly darkened hallway, I suddenly heard it, a soft whispering voice that sent chills racing down my spine. Mrs. Miliono. What did she say? You should know. One of you is just like me. Okay. The darkness hides secrets, my dear. One of you is pretending to be alive, just like I once was. Oh yeah, okay, so she is a ghost. Who do you think? Wait, is it the nurse? What if it's Satria? That's why he's so calm. Satria is a ghost. I slowly shuffled back toward the nurse's station, trembling. Who could it be? The nurse? Satria? I'm alive, aren't I? Or maybe Mrs. Miliono was just trying to scare me. The bells rang again. Okay, we're not going back there yet. Okay, I want to see room 101. I pressed the intercom for room 101, already bracing myself. Mrs. Liam came through, her voice panicked. Doctor, the knocking, it's back. It's so loud and it sounds angry. Please, please help. I'm on my way. I grabbed my stethoscope, not sure what good it would do against angry spirits, and headed down the hallway. What was I supposed to do? Politely ask the ghost to knock quieter? When I entered the room, Mrs. Liam was huddled in the corner, trembling, her fingers shakily pointing at the window. There. I walked to the window, steeling myself for another round. I don't know when piano crescendos give you a chill. For another round of absolutely nothing. I don't know. It gives me a chill. Oh, I see you. A pale face shot up from the darkness outside. A child's face, except there were no eyes. Just empty, hollow sockets staring right at me. I gasped, nearly tripping over myself as I stumbled backward. Mrs. Liam was sobbing in the corner. Angela shifted in her sleep, her small body twitching under the sheets, groaning as if in pain. My heart was still racing from the eyeless kid at the window, but it got worse when I heard it. Soft, eerie laughter. Angela, come play with me. I froze. Come on, Angela. Don't you want to play? I glanced at Angela. Her groans were getting louder, like she was trying to escape something in her sleep. Angela, come play. Just let go. And then I could see it, a faint shimmering light pulling away from Angela, her soul rising like a wisp of smoke, drawn toward the ghost kid. No. Wait, hold on. Why? Why is her ghost coming? Oh, did she die? Please. This would be the creepiest thing. Give her back. Get away from her. But Angela's mother, still huddled in the corner, was oblivious to whatever was happening to Angela. She just stared at the ghost kid, her face twisted in fear, not even realizing the danger her daughter was in. Angela, fight it. You can't go with him. What's happening? The ghost child turned, grinning wider, his eyeless sockets boring into me. She wants to play, just like I do. Angela's soul followed that ghost kid, and the ghost kid laughed. He pointed at Mrs. Lim. She doesn't love you. You never had time for her. Angela's better off dead, so you can live a new life with that uncle. The ghost kid howled, his laughter ringing in the air. Mrs. Liam, help her. Help Angela. I tried to prevent them from getting out of the room, but the darkness around us thickened. How are we gonna stop ghosts? You are a resident. You're not even a full doctor. How do you think you're gonna stop a ghost? I could feel it wrapping around me, pulling me back. I'm so sorry, dear. You don't get to say that now, Mom. Oh, gosh. You never cared about me. You were too busy with your stupid modeling career. See? I'm right, aren't I? I waited for you. I thought you'd love me enough to come back, but you didn't. I didn't know I was wrong. Please, Angela, come back to me. Angela shook her head, tears streaming from her empty eye sockets. Her eyes are empty too. Okay. Things are freaky. It's too late for that. You'll never understand. I want you to care. Angela likes me more. We'll be best buddies. We can play forever and ever. No more staying at home alone. Just fun and games with me. For a moment, I could see Angela hesitating, looking back at her mother. The ghost kid jumped in, his cackles screeching like nails on a chalkboard. Your mom doesn't love you. She only cares about herself. Come on with me, Angela. We can have so much fun together. Mrs. Liam was a mess of tears and desperation. No, Angela, please. I love you. I want you back. We're gonna show the bruises. Angela, your mother has suffered enough. Look at this. I grabbed Mrs. Liam's hand and showed her all the bruises she had. Angela stared in horror, not knowing what her mother had gone through. You need to go back to your body, to your mom. You can't just leave her like this. Angela's eyes flickered with a moment of hesitation, but the ghost kid tugged on her hand, whispering something in her ear. She looked at her mother one last time. I'm sorry, Mommy. I didn't know. Daddy beat you up, didn't he? And yet you stayed with him because of me. You can be free now. Free from Daddy and free from me. With that, Angela turned and walked away from the ghost kid, her form fading into the darkness as her body in the bed began to tremble. The monitors were beeping as her vitals plummeted. Panic surged through me as I rushed to Angela's bedside and grabbed the intercom. Code blue, Satria. Nurse. I feel like the nurse has to be dead because she's so pale. Satria and the nurse came running into the room, their faces grim as they saw Angela's lifeless body. We worked quickly, performing chest compressions, giving her oxygen, everything we could to bring her back. But deep down, I knew it was hopeless. Angela's soul had already left. Fuck. Should we have just told her that Mommy loves her? I don't think that would work. I'm sorry, ma'am. Time of death. Mrs. Liam crumpled to the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. Angela's voice echoed in the room, so soft I almost thought I imagined it. I love you, Mom. Please be free. I stumbled out of Angela's room, my hands shaking as the weight of everything finally hit me. I knew that being a doctor meant we'd see countless deaths, but I could not stop my tears from flowing after experiencing the events that transpired tonight firsthand. All I could hear was Angela's voice, her final words to her mom, the sound of the flat line ringing in my ears. This isn't happening. Poor Angela. I heard footsteps approaching, and before I could gather myself, I felt a hand rest up gently on my shoulder. You did your best, kid. I saw her leave. I saw the ghost child. I couldn't do anything. She's gone, just like that. Comes with the job. Sometimes no matter how hard we try, some things are just out of our control. We're doctors, not gods. But she was just a kid. I know. You did everything you could. More than most would. Let that be enough. For once, there was no sarcasm from him. Just a quiet understanding. And somehow that made me cry even harder. Satria stood there silent, letting me cry it out. No pressure. Just there. It was finally 6 a.m., the end of my first grueling night shift. Okay, I was ready to head home, barely able to keep my eyes open, when I noticed Satria standing by the exit. His silhouette framed by the morning sun, almost different somehow. He waved me over with a faint smile. Yo, kid, thanks for everything. Sure, I didn't do much. Yeah, but still, thanks. Okay, you sound like you're saying goodbye. There are still more shifts in the future. Nah, you won't see me again after today. Take care of yourself, alright? Before I could ask what he meant, he gave me a final wave, stepping into the sunlight. And then just like that, he was gone. Because he was a fucking ghost. No footsteps fading, no doors closing, just gone. I stood there, my mind spinning. Had I imagined it? The night had been long, sure, but this felt strange. Everything can wait later. For now, bed. As I collapsed onto my couch, still thinking about Satria's strange words, I mindlessly scrolled through my phone. That's when I saw it. Satria Dominic, medical resident, dies in a single motorcycle accident at 7 p.m. last night. Wait a minute. But we were working together at 9 p.m., weren't we? He was still alive then, right? I scrolled through the comments, heart pounding. People were mourning him, talking about how kind he was, etc. But if he died last night, then who was with me on shift? A chill crept up my spine as I replayed our final conversation in my mind. His calm words, the way he disappeared into the sunlight. Was it real? Had I just worked an entire night shift with Satria's ghost? I leaned back and closed my eyes, whispering a solemn prayer for Satria. For his peace and his journey, wherever it was now taking him. Satria had worked so hard only to be lost to the very grind he had struggled against. I sighed, staring out into the early morning light, unsure of what the future would bring. I wondered if I would end up like him. One thing was certain, though. I would never forget him. And I would never forget this odd night shift at the ICU. Normal ending. I'm curious because, like, I kind of want to see what happens with what's her face, Angela, if we say mommy loves you, because I think that's the better ending of her leaving, but also not, because Angela died. I'm curious if we can make it through without Angela dying. Oh shit. Oh, autosaves. I didn't know I had autosaves. Seems like a good place. I guess it auto-saved every single time we went to a room, which is nice. I'm just very curious. Very curious about how my choice shaped things. I'm very curious about the other rooms. Angela, listen to me. Your mother loves you. If she doesn't, she won't be here when your father doesn't. Angela's soul paused, uncertainly flickering in her eyes as she glanced at her mother. I'm so sorry, Angela. I've been working to escape this hellhole with your father. You know that he beats me. I wanted to get away to take you with me so I can pay for your food and school. But in my work, I forgot how much you needed me. I'm sorry. She's just saying that because she's scared of losing you. Don't let him trick you, Angela. You're stronger than this. I don't know. You're loved and you deserve a chance to be happy here with your mom. Don't let him take you away. Slowly, Angela's soul started to drip back to her body. No, Angela, don't be boring. Stay with me. Okay, so this is how Angela lives. We should have just said mommy loves you, instead of showing her mommy loves you and was being beaten. It was too strong. It was too strong of a way to go with it. But I love my mommy. And if daddy's hurting mommy, then she doesn't have anyone but me. Why didn't she reach this conclusion the other way? Also, Mrs. Liam brushed her daughter's side, cradling her as her tears streamed down her face. My God, you're okay. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, baby. I've been such a terrible mother. I thought working was the only way to save us, but I wasn't there for you when you needed me the most. It's a very interesting way to put it, but it's also accurate. At least from like what I've seen in life. Angela's still groggy, blinked slowly as she turned into her mother's hug, her small hands grasping weakly at Mrs. Lim's shirt. It's okay, Mommy. I've missed you so much. I've been running away from our problems, but no more. I'm leaving him. We're leaving. I promise I'll make it right. I'll make everything right. Angela's eyes fluttered, closed for a moment, but this time it wasn't from exhaustion, it was from peace. She smiled weakly, nodding as she nuzzled into her mother's shoulder. For the first time, the room filled with warmth instead of fear. The ghost kid was gone, his angry presence fading into nothingness, and all that was left was a mother and daughter finally together. I think I did a pretty good job here. Thank you, Doctor. I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't been there. I'm just glad you're both okay. Thank you, Dr. Lady, and Mr. Doctor as well. What do you mean? While I was out there, you know, outside my body, I saw Mr. Doctor. He was hovering around. Hovering? Like, what do you mean? This is how we find out he's a ghost. He wasn't walking, he was just there, floating, and he looked different. Kind of like he wasn't really there, but at the same time, he was pulling the little kid to get away from me. That was odd. I didn't see Satria around. Really? But I didn't see him at all tonight. Me neither. But I'll keep an eye on him. I think he's going to the old man's room next. Maybe you'll catch him if you visit there often. But the kid said everyone is afraid of the scary ghost lady wearing kabaya. So she probably needs to go first. Something wasn't right about Satria, and now Angela had seen it too. I wonder what actually happened. Okay. So it's encouraging us to play again. And again and again. Sadly, I don't have time to play it again tonight. But next stream, I guess we'll go through the other rooms. I think that actually took like an hour almost. Which is cool. We can play through the other rooms and investigate the empty rooms. Angela epilogue. A few days later, I bumped into Angela and her mom in the hospital. Angela looked so much better, healthier, happier. Her mom smiled at me and I could see the relief in her eyes. Doctor, thank you for everything. It's nothing really, so what happens now? Well, we're moving abroad soon, just the two of us, starting over, away from her dad. I glanced at Angela, who gave me a big grin. It was clear they were ready for a new beginning. That's great. I'm really happy for both of you. Angela's mom pulled out her phone with a grin. Come on, let's take a quick video together. Before I could protest, she recorded a short clip of the three of us, thanking me for saving her daughter. Angela smiled happily and I awkwardly waved at the camera. And there we go, upload. You're gonna be famous now. Great, just what I needed, ma'am. Hey, at least it's for something good. Goodbye, pretty doctor. See you again. Feel free to DM me if you need anything, doc. A collab, whatever. As they walked away, I felt a warmth in my chest. It was a reminder that things really can get better. That was cool. Okay, yeah. We'll play more of this. We will. The stories are pretty interesting. And it reaches things a lot quicker than Paranormal Site did. But yeah, that's it for me tonight. I want to thank you all for coming by, hanging out, checking out the stream, watching, having some fun. And I'll see y'all next time. Later.